Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihade 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 Gopi Janavalabha Girivanadhadi Gopi Janavalabha Girivanadhadi Gopi Janavalabha Girivanadhadi Gopi Janavalabha Girivanadhadi Yasodanandana 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 Vrajagana Ranjana Yasodanandana Yamunatira Chandana Vrajagana Yamunatira 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 Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari 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 Gopi Janavalabha Girivanadhadi Gopi Janavalabha Girivanadhadi Gopi Janavalabha Girivanadhadi Gopi Janavalabha Girivanadhadi Yasodanandana Bhavava Girivanadhadi Yasodanandana Vrajagana Ranjana Yasodanandana Yamunatira 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 Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Kunja Bihari Jaya Paramahamsa Bhattacharya Satarya His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ananta Gauda Vaishnavindiki Namacharya Srila Haridas His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ananta Gauda Vaishnavindiki Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Founder Srila Prabhupada Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shyamakun Radhakun Giri Govardhan Ki Founder Srila Prabhupada Mayapurdam Ki Radha Krishna Gopinath Shyamakun Radhakun Giri Govardhan Ki Vrindavan Tulsi Devi Mayapurdam Ki Shishi Radha Golokananda Ki, Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki, Gaura Premanandi, Bhakta Devi Ki, all glories to the Radha Golokananda Ki, all glories Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki, all glories to Premanandi, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Chaitanya Charitamrita. We are on chapter 13. So we're continuing our reading. Text 156. Chaitanya Charitamrita. So we're on chapter 13. Gananjana Shalakaya. Text 156. Tajma Shri. So only Ganda Tamarandasha. Gananjana. So this discussion here is Jagannath is speaking to Radharani. So this discussion here is Radharani. Jagannath speaking to. So we know Radharani, because Lord Chaitanya had access to this conversation. He was formed in the mood of Radharani. So this generally happens. So we know where Damodar, so that we can had access to this conversation. Access to this conversation. So this generally happens. So here we got Jagannath speaking, so that we can eventually have Lord Chaitanya is having a conversation with this conversation. Shrup Damodar. So here we got Jagannath speaking, and Lord Chaitanya is having a conversation with him. So therefore later he Shrup Damodar puts it in his notes. He kept a diary, a notebook. So Murari Gupta also kept a diary, a notebook about Krishna. So therefore later his early pastimes. Puts it in his notes. He kept a diary, a notebook. So Murari Gupta also kept a diary, a notebook about Krishna. Lord Chaitanya's early pastimes. I have already killed all the mischievous demons. So here's who are enemies of the Yadu dynasty. Lord Chaitanya. I have already killed all the mischievous demons who are enemies of the Yadu dynasty. And I have also killed Kamsa and his allies. But there are 2 or 4 demons still living. And I have also killed Kamsa and his allies. After doing so, but there are 2 or 4 very soon demons still living. I want to kill them. Know this for certain. And after doing so, I shall very soon return. This is actually very in a relationship. This is very know this for certain. To try to minimize the anxiety that one party could be having. This is actually very in a relationship. This is very important. Just as Krishna, to try to minimize, does not take a step away from Vrindavan. Krishna's devotees also does not like to leave. Just as Krishna, however, does not take a step away from Vrindavan. He has to tend to Krishna's business. Krishna's devotees also, after finishing his mission, not like to leave. A pure devotee returns home back to Vrindavan. When he has to tend to Krishna's business, Krishna assured Radharani that after killing the demons outside Vrindavan, a pure devotee returns home back to Vrindavan. I am coming back very soon, he promised. Krishna assured Radharani that after killing the demons outside Vrindavan, he would return. I am coming back very soon, he promised. As a reminder, as soon as I have killed, Krishna never leaves Vrindavan. He never takes a step away from Vrindavan. But so here we can understand a reminder that Krishna never leaves. Sometimes he never takes a step away from Vrindavan. When Krishna comes, he also brings, but we can understand that Prabhupada's condition. Sometimes devotees, when Krishna comes, he also brings. Also, Krishna, when he has his pastimes and associates with the material world, he brings the entire Dham, because Vrindavan, and so you see it. Also, Krishna, you get a complete picture. Has these pastimes. What it's like in the material world. He brings the entire Dham, the entire Vrindavan. So, just like in see it, you get a complete picture. You have Gopal. It's like it was a success story that he eventually made it to, just like in Brihad Bhagavatam. And then one day Radharani sent him
It was
on a mission,
success story.
There's a mature Brahmin. I want you to go help this person.
Goloka Vrindavan.
He's been, and then
Sadhana
one day
is at the
Radharani
level
sent him that he's ready on a mission to come to
There's
Vrindavan.
a
mature Brahmin. I
That's
want
his
you to go help
destination.
this person. Our destination in
He's been,
Vaikuntha is
so
determined
sadhana is
by
at
our
the
level that he's
devotional
ready
service.
to come
Where
to
we want to
Vrindavan.
be. That's where he wants to.
Who we
That's
want to
his
serve.
destination.
Who's our
Our
destination in Vaikuntha?
Who's
Who's the
determined
Lord of our
by
heart?
our
So
devotional
if it's
service.
where we want to be,
Vaikuntha and
who we
and
want to
some
serve,
forearm form
who's
of
our Ishtashnu, who's the
That's
Lord of our
who
heart.
you worship, or if it's
So
Lord
if it's,
Ram,
that's who you worship in your heart.
Vaikuntha
That's your
and
destination.
some forearm form of
Vaikuntha. Vishnu.
If that's
So this who you
mature
worship,
Brahman,
or
if
his
it's
destination was
Lord Ram,
That's who you worship
you
in your heart. That's your destination
in
in
Vrindavan.
Vaikuntha. So Radharani
So this
sent Gopa
mature
Kumar Brahman. His destination
Will
was
help this person to be with
this person that actually, like
Krishna
many
in
sadhakas. So
They
Radharani sent perform
Gopa
all
Kumar.
kinds of devotional practice.
help
They
this
read, they
person.
study. Say this person that
Particularly in
actually,
India
like many
or anywhere,
sadhakas, and oftentimes they wind up living in
perform
Vrindavan. All kinds
They
of
move to Vrindavan.
devotional practice. They read, they study to say to wrap
particularly
up
in
their
India,
or anywhere, and oftentimes they
devotional
wind
practice.
up living in Vrindavan.
And so is the
They
case of
move
this
to
mature
Vrindavan.
Brahmin,
and he to
heard
wrap up
and
their
met Gopa Kumar
in the devotional practice
forest
of Vrindavan.
And so is the case
And
of this
Gopa
mature
Kumar was able to
Brahmin,
preach to him and bring
heard
him that
he met Gopa
last
Kumar
little
in the
bit he needed to cross over that
forest
threshold
of
Vrindavan. And Gopa
And-
Kumar was able to preach to him. We know that from
And
the bring him that
beginning of
the last
Chaitanya
little bit he
Charitamrita
needed to
that
cross over that
Krishna
threshold.
lives
And the fourth dimension. We exist here
We know
in the
that
third dimension.
from the beginning of
So
Chaitanya
they didn't have to actually
Charitamrita that
really
Krishna
go anywhere, even
lives
though it was he came to the
in the
material
fourth
world.
dimension
We exist here in the third dimension.
Vrindavan to help
So
this.
they didn't have to actually really go anywhere.
It was
even though
almost seamless.
He came
to the material
because
world.
at the end he was
to,
finished preaching and talking
Vrindavan to
to
help
him.
this.
Krishna and the coward boys
It
show
was almost
up.
seamless.
He's sitting
Because
there with
at
this
the
end
mature
he was
Brahmin.
finished preaching and
This
talking to
mature
him.
Brahmin was transformed
Krishna
into a
and the coward boys
boy.
show up.
And
He's sitting there
so
with this
Krishna,
mature
he's
Brahmin.
like he didn't have to get on an airplane and go
this
back. He
mature
didn't have to
Brahmin
leave
was
his body
transformed
and
into
go
a
back.
Sometimes that
cowherd boy.
happens, but this particular case,
And
he was
Krishna,
already
he's like he didn't
purified
have
to
to
the
get
point
on an
that
airplane and go back. He
this
didn't have to leave his
transition from
body
this
and
third
go back.
dimension to
Sometimes
the
that happens,
fourth
but this
dimension took
particular
place.
case,
he was already
So-
purified to the point that
in the case
of this transition from this
who come
third
for a
dimension to
specific
the
purpose,
fourth dimension took place.
return back to
So,
Godhead.
In the
Prabhupada
case
often
of
we
these
see that he came for a
Nityasiddhas who
specific
come for a
purpose
specific purpose,
and
then they return.
long to go back to
Which
God.
Prabhupada often
Prabhupada
says that he
often
never left
we see that he
Vrindavan.
came for a
And that's
specific
actually
purpose.
the case because
And long to go back.
which
He's
Prabhupada
always thinking of
often says
Vrindavan.
that he never
He said
left
there are four
Vrindavan.
types of people,
and that's actually
who are
the
Brajavasis.
case because
those who are
born there,
those who
always
live there,
thinking of Vrindavan.
those who
He said there are
die
four
there,
types of people,
and
and
those
those who
who
always
who are
think
born
about
there,
it, never forget. That's
those who live
Vastu
there,
God.
those who die there,
And
and those
their
who
mind is always
always
think
think
about it.
They're
Never
always
forget.
thinking about
that's
Krishna
Vastu
and his
God.
pastimes.
So those are the four types.
Their mind is always in
So this
Vrindavan.
idea is
They're
back to
always
Godhead.
thinking
This
about
is
Krishna
more
and
relevant
his
to
pastimes.
Prabhupada. We're trying to
So
get
those
there.
are the four types of
We're struggling. So this
this
idea is
material
back
world.
to
For
Godhead.
who
This
knows
is
how
more
unlimited
relevant to Prabhupada. We're trying to
amount of
get
time.
there. We're struggling.
So here he gives us this
In this
promise
material
that
world for
I'm
who
gonna come
knows
back
how
soon.
unlimited
amount of time. And this is the love and exchanges that's going on.
So
between
here he
Lord
gives us this
Chaitanya
promise
and
that
Jagannath.
I'm gonna come back soon. Okay, for 157.
And this is the love and exchanges that's going on.
I wish to
between
protect the
Lord Chaitanya
inhabitants of
and
Vrindavan
Jagannath.
from the attacks of my
Okay,
enemies.
for 157.
That is why I remain in my kingdom.
Otherwise,
I wish to protect the inhabitants of
indifferent
Vrindavan
to
from
my
the
royal
attacks
position.
of my enemies. Whatever wives, sons,
That
and
is
wealth
why I remain
maintain
in my
the
kingdom. Otherwise,
are only for the
I am indifferent
satisfaction
to
of
my
the
royal
others.
position.
Whatever wives,
Their loving
sons, and
qualities
wealth I maintain
always attract
in
me
the
to
kingdom
Vrindavan.
are
Indeed,
only for
they
the
bring me back
satisfaction of
within
the others.
10.
They will
Your
bring
loving
me back
qualities
within 10 or 20
always
days.
attract me to Vrindavan, and I will
Indeed,
return.
They bring me
When
back
I return, I shall enjoy
within
both
10
day
and night with
They
you
will bring me back
and all
within
the
10 or 20
damsels
days.
Rajabhumi.
And I will return. When I return, I shall enjoy
While
both
speaking to
day
Srimati
and
Radharani,
night with you.
Krishna became very
and all the
anxious to
damsels
return to Vrindavan.
Rajabhumi.
He made her listen to a verse which banished
While speaking
all
to
her
Srimati
difficulties.
Radharani,
Krishna
and
became
which
very
assured
anxious
her
to return
that
to
she
Vrindavan.
would again attain
He made her
Krishna.
listen to a verse which banished all her difficulties,
Lord Krishna said,
and which assure her
devotional service
that she
unto
would again
me
attain
is the
Krishna.
only way to attain me.
My dear gopis,
Lord Krishna
whatever
said,
love and affection
devotional
you have
service
attained
unto
from
me
by good fortune
is the only way to
only
attain
reason
me. For my return
My dear
to
gopis, whatever love and affection
Purport.
you have attained from me
This verse
by
is
good
from Srimad
fortune
Bhagavatam
is the
10,
only reason. Chapter
for my
82,
return
text
to you.
44.
purport. Text
This
1,
verse is from
61.
Srimad Bhagavatam
10,
Sri Chaitanya
Chapter
Mahaprabhu would
82,
sit
text
in his room with
44.
Swarup Damodar and taste the topics of
Text
these
1,
verses
61.
day and night. Sri Chaitanya
Sri
Mahaprabhu
Chaitanya
would
Mahaprabhu
sit in
danced
his room
completely
completely
absorbed
absorbed
in
and
ecstatic
taste
emotion.
the topics.
While looking at the
These
face of Lord
verses
Jagannath
day
he
and
danced
night.
and recited these verses.
Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu danced
No one can
completely
describe
absorbed
an
the
ecstatic
good fortune
emotion.
of Swarup
While
Damodar
looking at the face of
Goswami,
Lord Jagannath
for he
he
is
danced
always
and
absorbed
recited
in the
these
service of the
verses.
Lord with his body.
No one can describe
mind,
in words
the good fortune of Swarup
the senses
Damodar
of
Goswami,
Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu
for he is
are
always
identical
absorbed in the service
with
of
the
the
senses
Lord
of
with his
Swarup.
body.
mind.
Therefore,
and words.
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu
The senses of
used
Lord
to become
Chaitanya
fully
Mahaprabhu
absorbed
are
in
identical
tasting with the
the senses
singing
of Swarup Damodar.
Therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu
In emotional ecstasy,
used to become fully
Chaitanya
absorbed
Mahaprabhu would
in
sometimes
tasting
sit on the ground
the singing and
of
looking
Swarup
down would
Damodar.
write on the ground with his finger.
In emotional ecstasy,
Fearing that the Lord
Chaitanya
would
Mahaprabhu
injure
would
his
sometimes
finger
sit
by
on the
writing in
ground
this way and looking
Swarup
down would
Damodar
write
checked him
on the ground
with his own finger.
hand. Fearing that the
Swarup
Lord
Damodar
would injure
used
his
to sing
finger by
exactly
writing in
according
this
to the
way,
ecstatic emotion
Swarup
of the Lord.
Damodar checked him
Whenever a
with his
particular
own
mellow
hand.
was being tasted,
Swarup
like
Damodar
Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu
used to sing
Swarup
exactly
Damodar
according to the
would
ecstatic
personally
emotion of the Lord.
personify it.
Whenever a particular mellow was
singing.
being tasted by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Swarup Damodar would
he's-
personally personify it.
They're illustrating here how close this relationship is. And even when Raghunath Das came,
This is
finally made it to Vrindavan, they're illustrating here how
And he,
close this relationship is.
Chaitanya-
and even
hard
when
for me to
Raghunath
describe
Das came, the process he went,
finally
his
made it to
renunciation,
Vrindavan.
how it
and he,
changed. From when he first come there,
Chaitanya,
he
hard
would
for me
first
to describe
take the remnants of Lord
process he
Chaitanya,
went,
then he
his
would
renunciation,
by
how
this
it
particular gate
changed.
all the
You know,
devotees
from
would
the
get
first down there,
remnants
he
of
would
Jagannath,
first,
and then
at one
take
point
the
he
remnants of Lord
would-
Chaitanya.
his
then he would
renunciation
sit
was
by
so
this
strong,
particular gate,
and his
where all the
detachment
devotees would
was,
get
you know,
material world remnants of Jagannath,
that he
and then
would
at one point he take the
his
refuge.
renunciation was
Not
so
even eat
strong
by the cows, and he would take
and
this
his detachment from
this
this
and
clean
world.
that
he
he would
take
so
the refuge.
even Lord
Not
Chaitanya
even eat by the cows.
took
and he
a
would
little
take
bit of
this,
that,
and Swarup Damodar
and
then
cleaned
stopped him and
he
forbid, keep him
So,
from. That's
even
you
Lord
know,
Chaitanya took a
this
little
was
bit
not-
of that,
this-
and
Swarup
Swarup Damodar
this is
then
not
stopped
fit
him
for you, even though forbid, keep
Lord
him from-
Chaitanya was
that's
telling
this was
Raghunath
not-
Das
he said,
that
Swarup Damodar,
his
this is not
renunciation
fit
is for you, even though
Lord
very
Chaitanya was
superior. He was very pleased and
telling
happy
Raghunath
with
Das
the
that
renunciation.
his
that he was
renunciation
performing.
is
In
that way he was able to express that.
very superior. He was very pleased and happy
So Swarup Damodar
with the
was there
renunciation
that he was performing in that way. He
very
was
close
able
to
take care
express
of that. So Swarup
He had
Damodar
Govinda
was there
acting as his personal servant, but Swarup
very
Damodar
close
was
to
more.
take care of anybody who wanted to. He was like a secretary.
He had to go
through
Govinda
Swarup
acting as his
Damodar.
personal servant, but Swarup Damodar
Get
was more.
the audience. Anybody who wanted to Lord
he
Chaitanya.
was like a
If
secretary.
you wanted Lord Chaitanya
You had
to
to go
read
through
something,
Swarup
it had
Damodar.
to be first checked by Swarup
Get
Damodar, the audience of Lord
And this here is Lord
If you
Chaitanya's.
wanted Lord Chaitanya to
this is
read
the
something, it had to be
third
first
year
checked by
this
Swarup
pastime
Damodar.
here is taken.
And
And this
First
here
2
is
years
Lord
he went to
Chaitanya's.
South India.
This is the
And then
third
on the
year.
third
This-
year,
this
all the devotees when he
pastime
got
here is
back, they
taken.
all came and they stayed.
First
till,
2 years he went to
we
South
read all
India.
these pastimes here.
And then on the third
cleaned
year,
the
all the
Goloka
devotees, when he
temple.
got back,
Here we
they
have
all
the
came.
Rath Yatra festival,
And they stayed till
and then
after the
read all these
Chaturmasas
pastimes
over.
here.
All the devotees
they
will
cleaned the
leave and
Goloka
go
temple.
back.
Here we have the
That
Rath
was the
Yatra
third year.
festival. And
But then Lord Chaitanya
after
actually
the,
wanted to go to
Chaturmasas
Vrindavan
over, All the
immediately.
devotees will leave and go
But
back.
they threw some
That was
tricks.
the third year.
King Pachaprudit. But then
asked
Lord Chaitanya
Ramananda
actually wanted to
Roy
go
and-
to
and
Vrindavan
Sarvabhauma
immediately.
tried to
Somehow keep
But
him
they
here. Don't let him
threw
go.
some
They just
tricks.
spent 2 years without him.
Pachaprudit,
Now he comes
asked
back. He wants to go to
Ramananda
Vrindavan.
Roy
And they're like,
and-
okay,
and
how can we
Sarvabhauma
somehow keep him here? Don't let him go. They just spent 2
Keep that
years
from
without him.
happening.
And now he comes
So,
back. He wants to go to Vrindavan.
This went on
And
for
they're like,
2
okay, how can we
years. These tricks.
Kinda
And as we'll
keep
read
that from
this,
happening?
we get to this.
So
and
this went on for
and then the
2
fifth
years.
course, he'd already
These
told
tricks.
Nityananda not to come back.
And as we'll read this,
go to
you know,
Vrindavan and
we'll get
preach.
to this.
But on the fifth year,
And,
Nityananda came
and then
back
the
with all
fifth
the
year,
devotees.
of
Of
course,
course,
he'd
he'd already
already
told
told
Nityananda not to come back.
They didn't
Just
stay.
Go to
Still
Vrindavan and
after the
preach.
Rath Yatra,
But
Lord
on the fifth
Chaitanya
year,
immediately
Nityananda
sent
came
them all
back with all the
back.
devotees. And
And
he
that
was going,
year,
he said, I'm going to go to come to Santipur.
they didn't stay.
I'm coming. I'm going to
After the
Vrindavan,
Rath
so
Yatra,
immediately
Lord
I'll be coming
Chaitanya
there.
immediately
So in
sent
this
them
way,
all
they knew,
back.
okay, he's coming.
Because he was going,
We don't want to be here if he's
come to
leaving. We go
Santipur.
back
I'm
home,
coming.
and he was able to
I'm going
convince
to
them.
Vrindavan,
So immediately
go
I'll be
back
coming
home.
there. So in this
That
way, they
first
knew,
attempt
okay, he's
we know
coming.
was
We don't want to
not
be here if he's
successful.
leaving. We go back home, and he was able to convince
Okay,
them.
let's continue reading.
to
We're
go
at
back
1.
home. But that first attempt, we know,
68.
was not successful. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu
Okay,
looked
let's
upon the
continue.
beautiful
We're at
lotus-like face and eyes of Lord Jagannath.
68.
Lord Jagannath was garlanded,
Sri Chaitanya
dressed
Mahaprabhu
with
looked
nice
upon the
garments,
beautiful
and adorned
lotus-like
with beautiful
face
ornaments
and
eyes of Lord
His
Jagannath.
face was glittering.
Lord Jagannath was
rays of
garlanded,
sunshine.
dressed with
In the
nice
entire
garments, and adorned with
atmosphere
beautiful
was
ornaments. His face
An
was
ocean of
glittering.
transcendental bliss expanded in the
from the
heart of
rays
Lord
of sunshine.
Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
In the entire atmosphere,
The symptoms
was
of
fragrant.
madness immediately intensified.
An ocean of
like a
transcendental
hurricane.
bliss expanded in the heart of Lord. The
Sri
madness
Chaitanya
of
Mahaprabhu.
transcendental bliss,
The symptoms of
waves
madness
of various
immediately
emotions
intensified.
The
like a
emotions
hurricane.
appeared like opposing soldiers.
The madness
staging
of
transcendental
fight.
bliss created waves of various
There
emotions.
was an increase.
The emotions
of
appeared
all
like
the natural emotional
opposing
symptoms.
soldiers
Thus,
staging
there was
a fight.
there
There were awakening emotions, peacefulness,
There was
joy,
an
mixed,
increase
transcendental,
of
all the natural
prevalent
emotional
emotions.
symptoms. Thus,
and
impetuous. There were awakening
impetuous
emotions,
or
peacefulness, joy, mixed, transcendental,
Sri Chaitanya
prevalent
Mahaprabhu's
emotions.
body
And
appeared like
impetuous
a transcendental Himalayan
impetuous for
mountain,
emotion.
bearing ecstatic, emotional
Sri
flower
Chaitanya
trees.
Mahaprabhu's
All
body
of them
appeared like
blooming.
a transcendental Himalayan
The
sight
sight
of all these
bearing
symptoms
ecstatic,
attracted
emotional
everyone's
flower
mind and
trees.
consciousness.
All
Indeed,
of
the
them
Lord
blooming.
sprinkled everyone's mind with nectar of
The
transcendental
sight of
love.
all
All
these
these
Godhead.
symptoms attracted everyone's mind and
sprinkled the
consciousness.
minds of the servants of Lord
Indeed, the Lord
Jagannath,
sprinkled
the
everyone's
government
mind with
officers,
nectar
the
of pilgrim
transcendental
visitors,
love of
the
Godhead.
general populace, and all the
sprinkled the
residents
minds of the
servants
Jagannath
of Lord
Lord.
Jagannath, the government officers,
Upon seeing
the pilgrim visitors,
dancing,
general
and
populace,
ecstatic love of Sri
and all the
Chaitanya
residents
Mahaprabhu,
of Jagannath
everyone became
Puri.
astonished.
In their hearts,
seeing
they became infatuated, dancing
with
an
love
ecstatic
for
love of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Everyone danced and
became
chanted
astonished.
in ecstatic love.
In their hearts,
And the great
they
noise
became
resounded.
infatuated. Everyone was
love.
overwhelmed with transcendental bliss.
Everyone
Just to see the
danced and
dancing
chanted
of Sri
in ecstatic
Chaitanya
love.
Mahaprabhu. And the great noise resounded. Apart from others, everyone
Even
was
Lord
overwhelmed
Jagannath,
with transcendental
Lord
bliss.
Balaram, with
Just to
great
see the
happiness,
dancing
began to move
of
very
Sri
slowly.
Chaitanya Upon
Mahaprabhu.
seeing the dancing, apart from
Sri
others,
Chaitanya
even
Mahaprabhu.
Lord Jagannath, Lord Balaram, with
Lord
great
Jagannath
happiness, began to
and
move very
Lord
slowly.
Balaram,
Upon seeing
sometimes
the dancing,
stopped the car
Sri Chaitanya
and
Mahaprabhu
happily
observed Lord Chaitanya's dancing.
Lord Jagannath
Everyone
and Lord
who was able
Balaram
to see them stop
sometimes
and watch the dancing,
stopped the car
or witness, and happily
their
observed Lord
pastimes.
Chaitanya's dancing. Everyone
Lord
who was
Chaitanya
able to see them stop
Mahaprabhu
and
was
watch the
dancing
dancing,
and wondering in
or
this way,
witness, he fell
their
down in front
pastimes.
of Maharaj Prataparudra.
Lord Chaitanya
Maharaj Prataparudra
Mahaprabhu
picked
was
up the
dancing
Lord
and
with
wondering
great
in this
respect.
way.
He fell
But
down
upon
and
seeing
the king
of Maharaj
Lord Chaitanya
Prataparudra
Mahaprabhu came.
to
Maharaj
his external
Prataparudra picked up
senses.
the Lord with great
Upon the
respect.
upon seeing the king,
But
Sri
upon
Chaitanya
seeing the
Mahaprabhu
king,
condemned
Lord
himself,
Chaitanya
saying,
Mahaprabhu
"Oh,
came.
how
How
pitiful
pitiful
is
is
it
it that I have touched a person
upon
who is
seeing the
interested
King,
Sri Chaitanya
mundane
Mahaprabhu
affairs."
condemned himself, saying,
So we know
"Oh, how pitiful
this is still
is
in-
it that I have
King
touched a
Prataparudra
person
still in his pursuit
who is interested
to get the
in
association
mundane
and meet with him
affairs."
personally. So we know
This is
that
actually the closest he's got
this is still
so
in-
far.
and
King Prataparudra is still in his pursuit.
eventually he will be
to get the
successful.
association and
Yeah,
meet with him
attempt.
personally.
So we can see
This
he
is
was
actually
one of
the
the
closest
biggest
he's gotten
impetuses
so
of-
far. Somehow keeping Lord Chaitanya from
Eventually he
going to
will be
Vrindavan,
successful.
keeping him here.
Yeah,
He just
attempt.
got back from
So we can
South
see he was
India.
one of the biggest impetuses of
Not
somehow
even
keeping Lord Chaitanya
Nityananda
from going to
Prabhu,
Vrindavan,
Kashivara,
keeping him here.
or
He just
Govinda
got back
took
from
care of Lord
South
Chaitanya
India.
Mahaprabhu when he fell. Nityananda was
Not
in great
even
ecstasy.
Lord Nityananda Prabhu,
and
Kasivara,
or
and
Govinda,
Govinda
took care of
were
Lord
elsewhere.
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu when he fell.
Sri Chaitanya
Nityananda
Mahaprabhu
was in great
had
ecstasy
already been satisfied by
and
the king's behavior.
Kasivara, for the
and
king
Govinda
had accepted
were
the service
elsewhere.
of a sweeper.
Sri
for Lord
Chaitanya
Jagannath.
Mahaprabhu
Had already been
Therefore,
satisfied by
Lord
the king's
Chaitanya
behavior.
Mahaprabhu
Actually,
for the king
desired
had accepted
to
the
see the
service
king
of a sweeper
for Lord Jagannath.
However,
Therefore, Lord Chaitanya
just to warn his
Mahaprabhu
personal
actually
associates
desired the
to see
Supreme
the king.
Personality of Godhead, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu,
However,
externally
just to warn his
expressing
personal associates
feelings of
anger,
the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Chaitanya Chaitanya Mahaprabhu when Maharaj
expressed
expressed to see the Lord, feelings,
Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu immediately refused, saying,
Niskin
Shanashya
Maharaj
Bhattaparuja asked to see the Lord. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu immediately refused, saying,
Param
Jigam
Mishor
Shanashya
Bhagavad
Sagarasha
Bhajano
Sandarsanam
Ashya
Shayanam
Param
Ata Yositam Jigam Mishor
Baba
Sagarasha
Anta
Sandarsanam
Santo
Shayanam Ata Yositam Cha
Majalila 11
Anta Anta
text
Isa Bhakta Santo
Chaitanya Chandrodya
Sadhu Takya
8
Majalila
so
11
two different books
text
about Lord
8.
Chaitanya's pastimes.
Chaitanya Chandrodya Takya
8:23. So it's in
Majalila
different
11
books about Lord Chaitanya's pastimes.
Yeah.
And there's also in the Chaitanya Chandrodya
Majalila 11
chapter 8 text 23. So
yeah.
and there's also in the Chaitanya Chandrodya. So these books are all. This
chapter
book
8,
is also
text
available.
23.
Bhanu Swami is also translated. These books.
Yeah.
So these
There's a
books
number
are
of-
all,
just like we
book
see
is
now
also available. Bhanu Swami is also
Those
translated.
Prabhupada's associates are writing
books
books
about their personal
There's a
times
number
with
of-
Prabhupada.
just like we see
there's
now
a lot
that-
of books like that. Similarly,
Those are Prabhupada's
Chaitanya
associates
leaders
are
are
writing
writing
books
books
about
about
their
their personal
who had the association
times
with
with
wrote about
Prabhupada.
those
You see,
personal
there's a lot of
pastimes
books like that.
There's a lot of those
Similarly,
books.
Chaitanya
And those
leaders,
books
a
are
lot of their
available.
associates,
They've all been
who
a
had
lot
the
of it been
association
accumulated.
with
Wrote about
into
those
this
personal
Chaitanya
pastimes.
Charitamrita
There's a
and-
lot of those books.
Chaitanya
those books are
Bhagavad.
available.
These are the two principal.
They've all been a lot of it's
literatures.
been accumulated into
There's
this
also
Chaitanya
a number of- this
Charitamrita
is an
and
example of one of those.
Chaitanya Bhagavad.
These are the two principal.
Okay, so the word
literatures.
Nishkin Shanashya
There's also a number.
refers
this
to
is
a person
example of
who has
one of those.
finished his material activities.
Okay, so the word Nishkin
Such a person
Shanashya
can begin to
refers to
execute
a
his
person
activities
who has
with Krishna
finished
consciousness.
his material
Across
activities.
the ocean
of essence.
Such a person
It is very dangerous
can
for such a
begin
person
to
to
execute
have his
intimate
activities
relationships with
with Krishna
mundane
consciousness.
people
Cross
or to
the
become
ocean of essence.
intimately related with
It
women.
is very dangerous for
This
such a person
form
to
of
have
is to
intimate
be observed
relationships
by
with
anyone
anyone
who
who
is
is
serious
about going
or to become
going back to God.
intimately related with
To
women.
teach his personal
This associates
formally
these
is to be
principles
observed by
Chaitanya
anyone
Mahaprabhu
who is
expressed
serious about going
external
going
anger
back to Godhead.
when touched by
To
the
teach
king.
his personal
Since the
associates
Lord
these principles
has
Sri
very
Chaitanya
much
Mahaprabhu
expressed
since the Lord was
external
very much
anger
satisfied
when touched
with the
by
humble
king.
behavior of the king.
Since the Lord
He intentionally showed
has
the king
very much
allowed the king to
since
touch
the
him.
Lord was very
But
much
externally,
satisfied
He expressed
with the
anger
humble behavior of
just
the
to
king.
warn his
He
associates.
intentionally showed the king, allowed the king to touch
So this
him.
is, I mean,
But
devotional
externally,
service actually
he
begins at the
expressed
stage of
anger
nishta,
just to warn his
until then we have
associates.
deal with the nartas. So this is,
Yeah.
I mean, devotional service actually begins at the stage of nishta.
We have to have the seed
So
of
until
faith,
then we have, and that seed of
deal
faith
with the
grows.
nartas.
We have
Anartha and Nivritti, we have to get rid of Anartha,
Strata.
Bhajana
We have to
Kriya,
have
the seed of faith.
So and that seed
As
of faith
Prabhupada
grows.
said,
We have when one who has
Anartha and
finished
Nivritti, we
their
have to get
material
rid of Anarthas,
activities.
Bhajana
That's a
Kriya.
pretty lofty position. So
As Prabhupada
that's a very
said,
lofty position. When
right
one who
now,
has finished
in order
their
to get
material
there, it
activities,
requires us
that's
to
to
remain
remain
in the
lofty
association of
position.
devotees.
That's a very lofty
As
position.
Prabhupada mentioned here,
Right
because
now,
if you're not
in order to
associated
get
with
there,
devotees,
it
then
requires
you're,
us
you're,
to
unless
remain
you're
in the
isolated
association of
yourself
devotees.
in
In
some cave in the Himalayas,
As
you're
Prabhupada
going to be
mentioned here,
associated
because
with.
if you're not associating with devotees,
Totally
then you're
materialistic.
unless you're
We do now
isolating
even
yourself
associate
in
with
some
materialistic
cave in the
people,
Himalayas.
even when
There's
there's
going to be
preaching,
association with
going to the store and
totally
purchasing
materialistic.
things. And we do now even
But
associate
our-
with materialistic people.
Our base,
Even
our
though
grounding
there's
of our
preaching,
consciousness is in
going to
the
the
store and association
purchasing
of devotees
things
where we live.
But our
And this is the
our
shelter.
base, our grounding
Okay.
of our consciousness is in the association
Text
of
number
devotees where we live.
186.
This is the shelter. King Prataparuja became frightened when Lord Chaitanya showed
Text
external
number
anger.
186.
But Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya told the king,
Don't
King
worry.
Prataparuja became frightened.
Sarvabhauma
Lord Chaitanya
Bhattacharya
informed the
anger.
king, the Lord is
But
very
Sarvabhauma
satisfied with
Bhattacharya
you.
told the king,
By
don't
pointing you
worry.
out, he was
Sarvabhauma
teaching his personal
Bhattacharya
associates
informed the king
how to
the
behave.
Lord
is very satisfied with
mundane
you.
people.
By pointing you out, he was teaching his personal
Although
associates
outwardly,
how
the
to
king
behave. Was a mundane
mundane
man
people.
interested in money and women. Internally, he was purified
Although outwardly by devotional
the king
activities. was a mundane man
He showed
interested
this
in
by
money
engaging
and women
as a street sweeper to
internally.
please Lord Jagannath.
He was purified.
A person may
by
appear
devotional
to be a
activities.
pounds and shillings man. He
Interested
showed
in
this
money
by engaging
and
as
women.
a street sweeper to
But
please
if he
Lord
is
Jagannath.
actually very meek and humble,
a person
and
may appear
surrendered
to
the
be a
supreme
pounds
personality
and
of
shillings
Godhead,
man
he
interested
is
in
not
money
mundane.
and women. Such a
But if he is
judgment can
actually
be
very
made
meek
only
and humble
by
and
Chaitanya
surrendered
Mahaprabhu
to the supreme
and his
personality
very
of Godhead,
confidential
he
devotees.
is not mundane.
Such a judgment can be made only by Sri Chaitanya
And his very
Mahaprabhu
confidential devotees.
and his
As a
very confidential
general principle,
devotees.
however,
No devotee should intimately mix with mundane people
and his
interested
very confidential devotees. As
money.
a general principle, however,
No devotee should intimately
Puddaric
mix with
Vijayanidhi was an
mundane people
example of someone
interested.
who externally he looked
Money.
like a pound and shilling. He was a very wealthy person. He was also internally
Puddaric
very
Vijayanidhi was
pure
an
devotee
example
of
the
someone
Lord.
who externally he
Lord
looked
Chaitanya
like a
gave
pound and
Raghunath
shilling. He was a very
instruction.
wealthy person.
He was
go
also
back to
internally
you
from a very wealthy family,
and
and
pure
of course his
devotee
family
of the
members
Lord.
are super attached
Lord
to their
Chaitanya
son.
gave Raghunath
And he
instruction.
employed
Go
guards,
back to you. He was
so
from a
many
very
people to
wealthy
watch him,
family,
and
so
of
many
course his
servants
family members are super attached to their son
to take care of him.
and they
But
employed
he wanted to leave
guards, so many people to watch
Lord
him,
Chaitanya told
so
him,
many
"Go back and
servants
externally act
to,
like
to,
you know,
to take care of him.
but he wanted to leave that.
Doing okay,
Lord
you're
Chaitanya told
satisfied
him to go back
with the
and
situation
externally
that
act
they
like,
presented you with,
you know,
and very soon an opportunity will come.
doing
and
okay.
you'll be
You're
able to leave
satisfied
that
because when
with
he
the situation
every
that
time
they
he left,
presented you with.
his father
And
sent
very
people out,
soon, an
tied him up,
opportunity
and
will
bound
come,
him and brought him
and
back.
you will be able
Lord
to leave
Chaitanya
that.
told
Because when
him
he,
to use a
every
different
time he left,
strategy.
just
His
pretend
father
like you're
people out,
satisfied,
tied him
you're-
up, and
you're
bound him and
home,
brought him back.
you're
But Lord
comfortable in the
Chaitanya told him
situation,
to use a
and
different
they'll let
strategy.
their guard down.
Just pretend.
And then when
Like
their guard
you're
is let down,
satisfied,
you'll
you're-
be able to.
you're
home. You're comfortable in
so
this situation,
often
and they'll let their
externally we
guard
should be
down.
satisfied, but
And then
internally
when their guard
it's
is
like a
let
paramore
down, you'll be
problem.
able to
use that analogy.
So
Externally,
often
you're attached to
externally
one
we should be
situation.
satisfied,
You
but
give the appearance of
internally
being
it's like a
attached to a
paramore
particular
problem.
situation.
Use
But
that
internally,
analogy.
the reality is
Externally,
much
you're
different. attached to one situation. You give the appearance
Sarvabhauma
of being attached to a
Bhattacharya,
particular
text
situation, but
189.
internally,
Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya
the
continued.
reality is much
I
different.
shall submit your petition when there is an
Sarvabhauma
Bhattacharya,
opportune
text
moment.
189. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya
It will be
continued.
easy for you to come.
I shall
and
submit
meet
your
the Lord.
petition when there is an
After
opportune
moment,
ambulating Jagannath.
It will be
Chaitanya
easy
Mahaprabhu
for you to come
went behind
and
the
meet
car,
the Lord.
began pushing it with his
After
head.
As
Ambulating Jagannath,
he
Chaitanya
pushed the car,
Mahaprabhu
immediately
went behind the
started
car,
to move,
began
making
pushing
a
it
rattling
with his head.
voice.
The people
Soon,
all around began to
As
chant.
he pushed the car, immediately started to move, making
Chant,
a
began to
rattling
chant
voice.
The holy
people
name of the
all
Lord.
around
Hurry,
began to
hurry.
chant the holy name.
As the car began to move, Sri Chaitanya
Chant, began
Mahaprabhu
to
took
chant
his personal
The
associates
holy name of
in
the
front
Lord.
of
Hurry,
the cars
hurry.
occupied by Lord Balaram. As the car began to move, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took his
Greatly
personal
inspired
associates
in
he
front
then began
of
to
the
dance
cars
in
occupied
front of them by Lord Balaram and Subhadra. Finishing
goddess of
the
worship.
dance before Lord Balaram
Greatly inspired
and Subhadra,
he
he then began to
Sri
dance
Chaitanya
in
Mahaprabhu
front of them. Came before Lord Jagannath's
After
car. Finishing the
upon
dance
seeing
before
Lord
Jagannath
Balaram,
and
he began to
Subhadra.
dance again.
Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came before
when
Lord
they reached the
Jagannath's
place
car.
called
Upon
Balagandhi,
seeing Lord Jagannath
he
stopped
began
his
to dance
car
again.
and began to look left and right. When they reached the place
on the
called
left side,
Lord Jagannath saw a neighborhood of
stopped
Brahmins
his car
and a coconut
began
tree
to look
grove.
left
and right. On the right side, he saw a nice
the left
flower
side,
gardens.
Lord
He saw
Jagannath
nice
saw
flower
a
gardens
neighborhood
resembling
of
those
Brahmins
and a
in the
coconut
holy
tree
place of
grove.
Vrindavan.
On the right side,
Purport.
he saw a nice flower gardens.
Vipra.
He saw nice flower gardens resembling
Sasana
those is a word
the
generally
holy
used
place
in
of
Orissa
Vrindavan.
province to indicate the
Purport.
quarters where Brahmins
Vipra.
live. Sasana is a word generally
95.
used in Orissa province to
Sri Chaitanya
indicate the
Mahaprabhu
quarters
and his
devotees
where
Brahmins
live.
dancing in front of the car. And Lord Jagannath,
95.
having stopped the car, watched
Sri
the
Chaitanya
dancing.
Mahaprabhu
and his devotees.
It is customary
dancing that
in
food
front
be
of the
offered
car.
to the Lord
Jagannath,
at that place. Having stopped the car,
Indeed,
watched
and
the
numerous
dancing.
dishes
of food
it is
were
customary
offered, and Lord
that food
Jagannath
be offered
tasted to
each
the
one of
Lord
them.
at that place. All kinds of
Indeed,
devotees
and
of Lord
numerous
Jagannath
dishes
of
from
food
neophytes
were offered to the
and
most
Lord
advanced
Jagannath
offered
tasted each
their
one of
best cooked food. All kinds
the
of
Lord.
devotees of Lord Jagannath, from neophytes
bet-
to the
everybody has
most
that
advanced
best
offered
recipe
their best cooked food.
God, everybody
to
has
the
that
Lord.
one thing that they get just spot on. Whatever you bet, everybody has that
Always offer the
best recipe they could favorite to the Lord. They just got, everybody has that one thing they think it's a spot on.
These devotees included the king,
Always
his
offer
queens, his ministers,
their
and
favor
friends,
to the Lord.
and all the other big residents.
These devotees
All
included
the
the king,
other
his
big and
queens,
small
his
residents,
ministers,
and
and
friends,
Jagannath
and all the other
visitors
big residents
who came from different countries like Jagannath
all
Puri,
the
as well as
other
the local
big and small
devotees
residents
offered
of
their
Jagannath Puri.
personally cooked
all the
food
visitors
to the
who
Lord.
came from different countries like Jagannath Puri,
The
as well
devotees
as
offered
the
their
local
food
devotees
everywhere,
offered their
in front of the car,
offered their personally
and behind
cooked
it,
food
on the two
to the
sides
and within the flower garden.
The devotees
Wherever
offered
possible,
their food
they made
everywhere,
their offering
in front
to
of
the
the
Lord,
car, for there were
and behind
no
it,
hard and
on the
fast
two
rules.
sides and within the
So you can
flower
imagine
garden.
how everybody
Wherever
in their
possible,
own kitchens,
they made their
prepared
offering
something to the Lord, and they all
But
brought
there
it.
were
No
their-
hard and
their-
fast
their
rules.
signature dish.
So you can imagine how
They brought
everybody
that signature
from their own
dish to
kitchens, they prepared something.
Lord Jagannath.
And they all brought it. Their
signature dish.
202.
They brought that signature dish.
Shri
to
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu entered the garden
Lord
and,
Jagannath.
immersed in great ecstatic emotion, fell flat
202.
on a raised platform there.
Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu entered the garden
And immersed in great ecstatic
Shri Chaitanya
emotion,
Mahaprabhu entered the
fell
garden
flat
and immersed in
on
great
a raised
ecstatic
platform
emotion
there.
fell flat
on a raised platform there. The Lord
Shri
was very
Chaitanya
much
Mahaprabhu entered
fatigued
the garden and immersed
in the
in
hard
great
labor of
ecstatic
dancing,
emotion
fell flat,
and
on a
there was
raised platform
perspiration
there.
all over his body.
The Lord
He
was
therefore
very much
enjoyed the
fatigued
fragrant, cool
from the
breeze
hard labor
of
of
the
dancing.
garden. And there was
All the
perspiration
devotees
all
who had
over
been
his
formed in
body.
Sankirtan came
He
there
therefore
and took
enjoyed
rest
the fragrant,
under
cool
each
breeze
and every
of
tree.
the garden. Thus I have
All the
described
devotees
great
who
performance
had been formed in
of
Sankirtan
congregational
came
chanting
there and took rest
by
under
Lord Shri
each
Chaitanya
and every
Mahaprabhu
tree as he danced in front.
Thus I have described the great
Lord
performance
Jagannath.
of congregational chanting
in his
by
prayer,
Lord Shri
known
Chaitanya
as Chaitanya
Mahaprabhu,
Astaka, as he danced
Srila
in
Rupa
front
Goswami has
Lord
given
Jagannath.
a vivid description of the Lord's
his
dancing
prayer,
known as
before the
Chaitanya
car of
Astaka.
Jagannath.
Srila Rupa Goswami
Purport.
has given a
Sri Rupa
vivid
Goswami
description
composed
Lord's
3
dancing
prayers
before
in
the
the
car
with
with the
Jagannath.
title Chaitanya
Purport.
Astaka.
Sri Rupa Goswami
First quoted
composed 3
is
prayers,
text 7
with
and
the
the title
first
of
Chaitanya
Chaitanya
Astaka.
Chaitanya
First verse
Astaka
quoted
prayers is
which are
text
included
7
in the book
and the
Stavamala.
first of the Chaitanya Chaitanya
Text 207.
Astaka prayers, which are included. Shri Chaitanya
book
Mahaprabhu danced
Stavamala.
down the main road in great ecstasy before Lord Jagannath, the
Text
master of
207.
Nikala, who was sitting on his car. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu
Overwhelmed
danced
by
down the main
transcendental
road in
bliss
great
of
ecstasy
dancing
before
and
Lord
surrounded by
Jagannath,
Vaishnavas who
the
sang
master
the holy
of Nikala.
names.
He
Who was
manifested
sitting on his
ways
car.
of ecstatic love
Overwhelmed
of
by
Godhead.
transcendental bliss of dancing
When
and surrounded by
was Shri
Vaishnavas who
Chaitanya
sang the holy
Mahaprabhu
names.
again, he
He's
manifested
visible
ways
to my
of
vision.
ecstatic love of Godhead.
Anyone who
When
hears this description
was
of the
Shri
car
Chaitanya
festival
Mahaprabhu
will
again
attain Sri Chaitanya
be
Mahaprabhu.
visible
to my
He will
vision.
also attain the elevated state by
Anyone
which
who hears
he
this
will have
description of the
firm
car
conviction
festival
and
will attain
devotional
Sri
service
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
and love of Godhead.
He will also attain
the elevated
Praying
state by which
at the lotus
he
feet of
will
Sri
have
Rupa
firm conviction
and
and
devotional
Raghunath,
service
always
and love
desiring
of
their
Godhead.
mercy. I Krishna Das narrate Shri
Praying
Chaitanya
at the
Charitamrita,
lotus feet of Sri Rupa
following
in
and
their footsteps.
Raghunath, always desiring their mercy. I
Anybody
Krishna
got any
Das
questions?
narrate Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita, following in
Comments?
their footsteps.
Yeah. Anybody got any questions? Any comments? Yeah. Okay, I'm not going to be able to repeat everything you said, but basically paraphrasing, you brought up the point about intimately. We all have, we all intimately associate with somebody. Basically, paraphrasing, family members, or there's some intimately point about. But how we all have, we take that opportunity to share Krishna consciousness, in that family members or moment. There's some intimate. It's not that we intimately associate how we for sense gratification. We take that opportunity to share Krishna consciousness in that intimate moment, trying to get something. It's not that we intimately associate people for sense gratification. Right? One's taking, one's giving. So you're giving, trying to Krishna get something. Or if you're looking for sense gratification, then one's taking, one's giving. You want something. You want your senses to be satisfied. So you look at consciousness. A person, if you're looking for sense gratification, then you're taking, you want something of your. You want your senses to be satisfied. So you look at a person, a living entity as an object of your. So we want to be givers. Sense gratification. Primarily, we give the greatest thing is Lord Chaitanya's mercy. Okay. Anybody else? So we want to be givers. And primarily, we got a few minutes. The greatest thing is we got 3 minutes actually. Mercy. Yeah. All right, so we're on chapter 14, the performance. We got a few minutes, maybe pastimes. We got 3 minutes, actually. Yeah. All right, so we're on chapter 14, the performance of the Vrindavan pastimes. What? So accompanied by his personal devotees, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to the festival known as Lakshmi. Vijay Toshba. Accompanied by his personal devotees, super excellent love. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to the festival known as Lakshmi. He became very pleased and danced. There he discussed the great ecstatic love of the gopis. Just by hearing about all glories to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, known as Gaur Chandra, and danced. All glories to Lord Nityananda Prabhu. All glories to Advaita Acharya. All glories to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, known as Gaur Chandra. All glories to all the devotees headed by Srivas Thakur. All glories to Advaita the readers who have taken Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. All glories to all the devotees headed by Srivas Thakur. This is our readers who have taken Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Everything we do as their life is taking us to Lord Chaitanya. This is our life and Lord Chaitanya. This is Chaitanya. He get His mercy. Everything we do, His mercy is taking us to Lord Chaitanya. And we get the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was resting in ecstatic love. Maharaj Prataparudra entered the garden. Krishna Prem. While Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was resting in ecstatic love, Maharaj Prataparudra entered the garden. The king had given up his royal dress. He now entered the garden. Following Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's instructions, the king had given up his royal dress. What is a Vaishnava dress? He now entered the garden. A Vaishnava dress is that dress that we want to be. So this close to Lord Chaitanya, right? What is a Vaishnava? So he dressed up in a way Vaishnava that he could be close to Lord Chaitanya that we want to be. Okay, so we stopped at close to Lord Chaitanya. 5, right? So he dressed up in a way that he could be close to Lord Chaitanya. Okay, so we stopped at. We'll start at 5 next time. All glories to Sri Guru and Guru.
Hari Purusham Namaham Bhajami Hari Purusham Namaham Bhajami Govindam Hari Purusham Namaham Bhajami Enam Kanvandam Maravindadalaya Taksham Varhavatam Samasitam Buddhasundaram Nandar Agom Vidamaniya Nishesha Shobha Govindam Adi Purusham Samaham Jami Govindam Adi Purusham Samaham Jami Govindam Adi Purusham Asa sakalen Priya priti manti Pasyanti panti kayanti Chiram naganti Ananda chinmaya sadhu Jala vigrahasya Govindam Adi Purusham Amaham Bhajami 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 Govindam Adi Purusham Amaham Bhajami
Geha yaki chumo apilo tuabare nanda kishore manasa deho geho yaki chumo apilo tuabare nanda kishore sambare vibare jivane marane sambare vibare jivane marane dai mama gelo tua para parane dai mama gelo tua para parane maro viragovi yoi chatohara viragovi chan maraviragovi yoi chatohara maraviragovi yoi chatohara nitya dasa pratituarikara tatitua janmo bimo icha janito janmo bimo icha janito bhakta grihe jani janma mo lai vai te chakko sangha nurakta Janaka Janaka